Okay, great. So my name is Weibing, and thank you everyone to join today's meeting. My title is the user-centered iterative design of an LLM-powered educational scenario simulator for clinical reasoning. So yeah, this is contain lots of information, right? It's first of all, it has user-centered iterative design, but the most important thing for this is an LLM-powered educational scenario simulator. This is for the clinical reason for the medical school students. Okay. So first of all, let me introduce myself. So we are in the University of Cincinnati. Cincinnati is over here, and our conference is over here. It's pretty far. So, and then we are under School of Information Technology. So School of Information Technology, basically we have bachelor's, master's, and PhD. So basically we use IT solutions to meet people's needs about the research and the practice. So our lab is called Two Sigma lab. Two Sigma is so find the solutions for the Bloom's Two Sigma problem. So Bloom's Two Sigma problem is an educational problem that personal one-on-one tutoring can enhance group learning performance more than 2 standard deviation. So standard deviation is usually we use sigma to represent it. So it's called 2 sigma. Also, our lab has 2 AI in it, 2 sigma plus AI. Okay, so this is our logo for the lab. And then we use AI to innovate the medical education technology and meet healthy care professionals training and practice needs. Yeah, this is our lab, our university, our department, and our lab. Okay. Also, so this is my outline for my research paper. Usually this is a very normal thing. It's abstract keywords, introduction, background, and related work. Large language model powered educational scenario simulator and method research, result, discussion, and future work. Conclusion, accusation, and reference. Okay. And then introduction. So IT is actually we need to find the people's needs, and we design a solution to meet the needs. Based on these 3 elements, people's needs, we use technology, involve the related information to find a solution to meet people's needs. This is the high level of our research. So what does that mean for in my research? In my research, the technology is we use AI. Now we use generative AI and natural language process and large language models over there. And the information is basically about the medical education informatics and the physician and patient conversation. So people is related with medical students, physicians, medical education stakeholders. Right? What is their needs and solutions, our solutions, right? So in the traditional medical education, usually we use one-size-fits-all solutions. So for example, for the clinical scale labs, or just we use a video for the students to watch the videos to learn, right? That was really not good. So And Bloom's two sigma problem is shows that we can use a personalized one-on-one tutorial could enhance group learning performance more than 2 standard deviation. That means over 95% improvement from a C score to A grade A, right? So we are trying to find a solution to fix this issue. This is there is some solution over there. We use the personalized medical education, or we use simulated based clinic skills training, and also for the large language model, our educational scenario simulator for clinical reading. This is our solution. So based on this element, we come up with our research problem is this is what and how. What is our solution and how to design and develop a clinical scenario simulator for the clinical reading. Yeah, this is. So we have some. The second part is background and related work. First of all, let me introduce the clinical reasoning models. So this is the clinical reasoning. This is one of the clinical reasoning we use in our research. We adopt this one. So imagine we are a patient, right? We are a patient. When we go to visit a doctor, the doctor usually collects several of our personal data. So first of all, maybe there is some initial data from the nurse, the nose, and or what is your pressure or your temperature or something, right? And so they will give a hypothesis. Sometimes maybe we are just get a code and some symptom just we know it will be a code. So we just get this hypothesis, and then we are done. So, however, some of our disease we need to get more data. So, for example, from your family history, or the physician use your what kind of DDX, see, also some labs, some tests like that to identify what's wrong, what's wrong with the patient, something like that. Also, something maybe we need to order some labs and images. We maybe need to do the CT or have more complex case, right? And we need to collect more data to identify what's wrong with the patient. So this is the process of the clinical reasoning. Basically, we can say it's the patient data collection process. Okay, this is this one. And we also doing some related work. So for example, this Ozer uses ChatGPT and prompts to create 5 readiness simulation scenario for nursing education. And then this also develop a web-based app named AI Patient Actor. And this pretty works very well. I have tried it, but it's used for the neuroscience and the neurology process. It's not a general one. So based on their work, we proposed our work like that. So this is the work we propose based on our research and the literature review. And then this is several components we think we need for this simulator, AI-powered virtual patient, also the clinic scenario generator, adaptive learning environment, and the interactive user interface, and also the intelligent tutoring system and assessment and feedback. So, so this is our design. So basically, we use a very simple 3 layers architecture. So the medical students will face an UI layer, and then the UI layer will be save the data from the student, get the data from the students, or display the data to the students. And then this connects with the database layer, the data layer. We save the data in this data layer, and the business layer is a connector between the UI and the database. Yeah, this is the, and our implementation, we use the Power App and the Power Pages for the UI. And for the data layer, at this moment, we use the SharePoint data table. And the business layer, we use the large language models API connector in the integrated platform. So this is this part. And then our methodology to verify this process is we call it a user-centered iterative design. We use two phases. The first phase is a simple large language model for the education clinic scenario simulator for clinical reasoning. So, and our phase 2 is a large language model based multi-agent education clinic scenario simulator for clinical reasoning. So they both have the similar, we put the user in the center. User means we can get the feedback through the survey or the interview or how the performance of this software, their usage data. And then we use this iterative steps, including the need analysis, prototyping, testing, and refinement to get this work better. So our first phase is each phase is include several steps. The first step is recruitment and participants. We recruit some medical education experts as well as some medical students in the different time with different students. And our survey also collects some data as well. And our data collection method is use the mixed method, including the face-to-face focus group interview. And also we use survey to district the survey and also collect both the quantitative and quantitative data from the participants. So, and then the experience process is basically just several steps to finish the software, the task. This is the process. So for the first one, the needs is the first stage is from 0 to 1 process. We don't have anything. So we have a product can perform this one. So the needs process is based on the clinical reasoning theory data collection steps. Also, some options from the medical experts as well as the prompt engineer. Also, some functions we need. Also, some interview and survey, and the feedback from all of the medical students, like that. And then this is the low fidelity we design like that. So when the user enters this scenario, and then they can select whatever level they are and what specialty they want to practice, and also what kind of focus they want. So that they need to use this, and then right we can generate the generative scenario like that. So this is the conversation screen. The patient can have the conversation with the patient. I mean, the medical students can have a conversation with the AI patient, right? So this is the low fidelity, and then this is the high fidelity scenario. We use Figma to design that, I think. And then this is the task they need to finish. They need to choose the right level. So when the student finishes this steps, they can, we can generate some data like that. And then refinement is improve the function and usability. Yes, this is the data analysis. We have three kind of data analysis, including in the interview data and the survey data, and also the usage data. And this is the phase two. Phase two is pretty much similar with the phase one. We just use follow the same step to finish whatever we need. So there is several differences in the medical school. We use the different focus group. So and the survey collect a different size of response. And then our data collection is the same. Procedure is also similar, and also follow this step. Okay, and for the prototyping, this is the result. So the result is including two phases as well. And so in the first step, the first prototype, this is we use the Power App to generate this large language model powered educational scenario simulator. This is students can choose their level and the case, and then the students can have a conversation. So this is simple. And then after they have done, they can get some feedback as well. And this is the first survey analyzed. This is the overall satisfaction rating. We get a 3.65. Not too bad, but we get some from the response. We analyze this topic. What is the engagement and learning, and feedback useful, personalized practice, and realistic experience. So yeah, I just simply go through it. So the second one, we actually get a little bit improved in 4.12. And then, however, we decision exam or lab or test because we can't really do it in our order on the first phase. So they think maybe a browser version is better instead of a mobile version as well. So we get this data and then also emphasize this need for the browser version and also for this exam or test. And also there is a supervisor rule we need in this simulation. So for the usage data, in the first stage, we get this much data. So, and then in the second stage, this is the prototype. We design and develop a new one, use the power case. Yeah, it's the second one. The students can have a conversation. And then this is several buttons. We can link it to get the whatever the data. And I have a screenshot also of stuff. So this is the analysis. And then this is the supervisor. This is after the student submitted, we can get some feedback. Okay. This is more. And then from the focus group, we discuss the user experience and feedback. Also to verify the similar with our first phase, and it shows that our second phase is better than the first one. So, And then this is some data to show it's, and also around 80% prove that the multi-agent education scenario is helpful for their clinical reasoning skills. So, and then this is the usage data. And the discussion is, we can say user-centered iterative design could focus on users' needs and build a better version of large language model called the clinical scenario simulator. And the feedback could missing from the user's needs. Also, this LLM-powered clinical scenario simulator could help medical students practice on the data collection and the decision-making process. So this the two version from the first one, chatbot to the multi-agent, is students' needs on some web browser version and a different agent on physician exam, labs, and tests, in particular the real-time supervisor, like that. And then we listed some contribution over here as well. Our contribution majorly is for establish evidence-based design principle for developing user-centered large language model for the educational applications, including the prompt engineer frameworks, right? And then we have bridged the gap between abstract clinical reasoning theory to the practical large language model implementations. Also, we created a comprehensive large language model for the clinical scenario to generate realistic patient cases, like that. And also, we advanced that package architecture from a single agent to a multi-agent simulation environment. Okay, this is this part, but we have some limitations. So some students mentioned we need an audio version as well, but at this moment we didn't have it yet. And but we are working on that, and we will have the next version, I think, come out soon after this summer. So, conclusion is just to show this survey is have some values for clinical reasoning skills, and also our iterative design to the two phases has better for integrate large language model into the medical education and advanced AI enhanced HCI design and development. Yeah, this is it. And we have several selected reference. And also, please, if you have any question,